This started part 2 of Shane Grooms College Football Pick'ems Week 3.
And Shane, I need to make a correction. I said that Louisiana Monroe went in and beat Florida last year. It was actually Georgia Southern. But I still feel strongly about Louisiana Monroe. They go ahead and play teams very tough, and I think they're going to play the team that's very tough this week also. So I want to make that correction nationwide, that it was Georgia Southern that beat Florida and not Louisiana Monroe.
All right, so now we're on number 12th ranked UCLA. They'll be playing at Texas.
UCLA fans, oh my. I told you last week, and I'm going to tell you again, y'all are in trouble. You let Memphis score 35 points on y'all. 35 points. The Memphis Tigers. I believe they play out of the, where do they play out of the Big East? Where? I'm not even sure what conference they play in, but they've never been that good in football. Now, they've been good in basketball, UCLA fans, but they haven't been very good in football. And you let them score 35 points. You beat them 42-35 last week. You're in trouble. I don't know how in the world you're ranked number 12 in the country. I don't. You know what? You're going to Texas. Texas didn't look very good last week either against the BYU team. Yeah. But you know what? I'm calling an upset here. I just don't believe in UCLA. You're going to have to go into Texas. I know Texas is not what they used to be, but there are some good players on that roster. I think Coach Strong will have these guys ready to play. And I think Texas goes and beats the Bruins. And Bruin fans, Lord have mercy. Y'all are in for a long season.
I think Texas gives them a good game. Charles Strong has that defense and that all those young guys ready that he's recruited. But I still don't think Texas is ready for a game like this. I think UCLA squeezes out again this week by 3.
Okay, guys, you heard it here. I feel very, very confident in this game. You can put your paycheck on this game. Go call your bookie. Texas will not only win it, they'll not only cover the spread, but they will win this game. My neighbor in Oxford, Georgia, Jeffrey Norman, gave me a call, said to pick this game, and I'm picking this game. Texas Longhorns all the way. Shane.
Look them horns. Now number 13th ranked Michigan State. They got a bye this week. Their next game next week is versus Eastern Michigan.
You know, Michigan State really let me down a little bit last week. I had Oregon winning that game, but I thought if a Michigan State team got up like they did, they would end up finishing the team off, and they didn't. The Big Ten, you didn't have a very good week last week. I'm not so sure. I think you kind of lost out on the national championship picture after week 2. What do you think, Shane?
I think so too. I think Michigan State was up by 11 in the third quarter. Given Oregon does score quick, and they can, and they did, obviously, but you're up by 11, and you couldn't close the game out. You couldn't shut the door, and I think that's not looking good for you, Spartan fans. You want to see Michigan State get up on good teams like that and just finish them off. And I think Michigan State will be ready next week for Eastern Michigan, but I think it's a good bye week for them to kind of get their heads on straight, and hopefully they don't still be thinking about that Oregon game, maybe get upset. But now we're moving on to number 14th ranked Ole Miss. They'll be hosting Louisiana Lafayette.
I know you like Ole Miss. Ole Miss is still looking good. It's looking like a good pick by you, Shane. They came in and killed Vandy. I still don't know how good Ole Miss actually is, but wow, has Vandy not fallen off the map really, really quick? I cannot believe how bad Vandy has looked this season. I know James Franklin was a great coach, but that's a lot of his players still there. I'm worried about this new coach. I mean, I know Vandy has usually not fired a lot of coaches because they haven't been good in the past, but I think they got a little bit spoiled with James Franklin. And I'm not so sure how long a leash this guy's going to have. They have got to come out and play better.
They do. They lost the game week 1 against Temple, and then they come and get shut out by Ole Miss. That's not good at home.
They score a field goal in the last minutes. They only had 3 points. They only had 3 points in the last minutes, but it came off a turnover. They actually had negative 4 yards on that possession to kick a 26-yard field goal. That's how bad the Commodores are in Nashville right now.
I feel you, but I think Ole Miss handles this game against Louisiana Lafayette with ease. Bo Wallace have that offense clicking like he did last week, and it was against a poor Bandy defense, but he really looked good, and he didn't look like his old self making those mental mistakes against those not so good teams. So now number 15th ranked Stanford, they'll be hosting Army.
Stanford is they're really upset this week. I really thought they had that game won against USC. I thought they played better than USC. I thought they probably should have won that game. I know they're kicking themselves right now for that performance. They're going to take it out on an Army team this week. I think they cover the spread of 28. I think they win by at least 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think they cover spread too. And just last week, Coach Shaw, he blamed it on himself. He was punting inside the 35-yard line, and he lost by 3. They had 6 drives inside the 30 that came away with no points. That's just heartbreaking. That's how you got to at least try and kick some field goals. Give your kicker a chance, man. Now number 16th ranked Arizona State. They'll be playing at Colorado.
I think Arizona State covers the spread of 16. Arizona State, I believe they scored over 40 the first 2 weeks, or close to it. I think they continue to put up points against Colorado. I think they cover the spread of 16.
I do too. I think early in the game, Colorado will keep it kind of close, but I think Arizona State has a lot more depth than Colorado does, and I think they win this game by 24. Now number 17th ranked Virginia Tech. They'll be hosting East Carolina.
First off, Shane, I want to give you a lot of props for last week picking the upset of Virginia Tech over Ohio State. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the Buckeyes later, but I did want to give you props on that upset call. You know what? That being said, I don't think Virginia Tech covers the spread of 11 points. I don't think Virginia Tech's that great. I just don't think Ohio State's very good at all. I think East Carolina covers the spread. I think Virginia Tech squeaks this one out by a field goal. I think it's going to be a very close game here, Shane. I think it's going to be a really close game.
A couple years ago, East Carolina beat this Virginia Tech team. And I think at the time they were 2-0 and ranked on up there. But I think Virginia Tech wins this game easily. They're coming off a great win against Ohio State. Coach Beamer will have them really focused in on this game and reminded them of a couple years ago when they did lose, and I think they win this game by 10. Now number 18th ranked Wisconsin, they got a bye this week. Their next game will be against Bowling Green.
Wisconsin's they've looked pretty good over the last couple weeks. I haven't seen them play a lot live, but Wisconsin does their thing, so I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, I think they will too. I think they're still kind of sick about that LSU loss of being up. But I think they'll be fine next week.
Do you think Wisconsin's the best team in the Big Ten right now?
I still think Michigan State has it. I still think they have it. But now on number 20th ranked Missouri, they'll be hosting University of Central Florida.
You know, Missouri is not getting a lot of respect. They didn't have a very big spread last week. It was only 3.5 points. They covered that spread very easily. Nationwide, Missouri is just not getting a lot of love right now. And this is another indictment on Missouri, a 10-point spread at home against Central Florida. I think they cover this spread very easily. I think they win by at least 2 touchdowns. I'm looking for a 17-point win.
Yeah, I think they win this game easily. I think they win it by 2 touchdowns, 14. But the reason people not giving Missouri a lot of respect, they lost a lot on offense and on defense to the draft. And I think any team, Ohio State's proven that too, on their offensive line and their defense, even their running back, Carlos Hyde. You can see what 1 year does after losing all those players. But now number 21st ranked Louisville, they'll be playing at Virginia.
I like this Louisville team. And I like Louisville. They got a special place in my heart because they got an Eastside player playing for them, Sheldon Rankins, who actually had a monster game last week. I think he had a great game against Miami also. Look out for him, guys. I like Louisville in this game. I know they're going to Virginia. I think they cover this spread of 6.5. I think they're a better team than Virginia, and I think they'll prove it on Saturday.
Yeah, I think that first week when Virginia gave UCLA a little run for their money, I think that was just because UCLA is not that good. But I think Louisville wins this game easily by 10. Now number 22nd, Ohio State. They're hosting Kent State.
I don't even know how Ohio State's ranked in the top 25 right now. I'm going to be honest with you. Buckeye fans, you're not very good. You're not very good. And I'm not sure you deserve this ranking. I think I'd have Mississippi State up here before Ohio State. 32-point spread. I mean, Kent State, I don't know much about them. I think they should cover, but I'm going to say they're not. I just don't think they're very good. I think they beat Kent State, but I don't think they cover the spread of 32.
I think they will cover the spread. I think they win by 5 touchdowns. I think it's because Urban Meyer, every time he comes off of a heartbreaking loss, he'll come out and he'll just beat a team to death because he don't want that embarrassment still on his head. And he still thinks his Ohio State Buckeyes are just as good as they were without Bryce Miller, and they are not. Proved that last week when Virginia Tech came in and beat you by 2 touchdowns. Something to worry about, Buckeyes. Now number 25th ranked BYU. They'll be hosting Houston. This will be the Thursday night game this week.
I thought BYU looked pretty good last week. I think they covered the spread at 18.5 at home against Houston. They have a chance to show the country how good they are and that they're worthy of this ranking. I think that this is the first time they've been ranked in the top 25 this year. So I think they have an opportunity to prove that they're worthy of this ranking, and I think they do. They come out and play Houston well. They cover the spread.
I think so too, and a lot of guys got BYU going undefeated through the year because of their quarterback Taysom Hill. A lot of people say he's been putting up great numbers. He ran all over Texas last year. I don't know if you remember, he ran for over 300 yards as a quarterback. It's pretty good.
Very, very good.
And they're talking about him being in the Heisman race too if he keeps putting up numbers like he does. And he had a great game against Texas last week again for the second year in a row. And I think BYU wins this game easily by 21. All right, so that's the end of this week. See y'all next week.
Good luck with your pick'ems, guys.